Good morning, Wildcats. I'm Olivia Bontempo.
And I'm Larson Normark, and you're watching WCAT Weekly News.
Do you need some more math help? In addition to Mondays, Tuesdays, Thursdays, and Fridays, the Math Lab is now open every Wednesday before school from 8:30 to 9:15. If you would like to work one-on-one with a peer tutor, reach out to Ms. Ellis, who will connect you with a Mu Alpha Theta student tutor.
Now here's WCAT's Mary Locke Speed with a closer look at Westminster's East Asian Affinity Group, also known as Mooncakes.
As promised, WCAT followed up with individual affinity groups, the first of which is Mooncakes.
So we're all members of Mooncakes, which is the East Asian Affinity Group.
Usually we have food and we all get to hang out together, but because of COVID, we've been meeting over Zoom, and it's just a lot of fun to interact with other members of this community. Thanks, guys. Sounds like it's a great group. Now back to you in the studio.
Thanks, Mary Locke, for highlighting more about the great opportunities these affinity groups are giving our students.
We are super excited for this year's fall play, but it will be different this year. The Westminster's Performing Arts Department will be streaming a production of 3 classics from Alfred Hitchcock by the Westminster Players. Let's meet a couple of the characters in the play.
Hi, my name is Annalise Jones and I play Daisy in The Lodger, and we are performing 3 different Alfred Hitchcock radio plays, which we make our own sound effects for, and it's all audio and socially distanced, and there's no blocking. And you can find the link to our play, The Lodger, Sabotage, and 39 Steps in the description below.
I play Detective Ted Spencer of Scotland Yard in the show Sabotage.
I'm Richard Hannay in 39 Steps, a regular man gone spy.
And we're putting on a series of 3 vintage Hitchcock shows, radio shows, in fact.
And you can watch them Thursday, Friday, and Saturday in the link in the description.
These students have been working hard to put on this production. Check out the link in the student announcements and in our description to learn where to watch this play.
Next, we go to WCAT's Elena Karras with a preview of next week's Pride Week activities.
October is LGBTQ+ Pride Month in Georgia, and October 5th through 9th is known specifically as Pride Week. This celebration has a fascinating history, as well as an essential role in the continuous call for inclusion, equality, and support of the LGBTQ+ community. Here's a short preview on what's to come next week.
Pride is short for LGBTQIA+ Pride, which is lesbian, gay, bisexual, transgendered, queer, or questioning, intersex, asexual, and there are even more letters that come after that, as a way of celebrating in our community individuals and kind of as a social group, any people that are on that spectrum of variation in sexuality and gender.
So kind of the main thing that Westminster is doing for Pride Week next week is there's going to be a table with a bunch of merch on it, kind of in the plaza right outside Hawkins. It's like a huge table and has lots of stickers and just cool things you can take, and people who are taking pictures with an ally sign. You can ask questions about stuff. So that table's kind of be our focus for the week. It's going to be staffed by a lot of different people, by students, by faculty members.
We're also going to be handing out, I believe it's wristbands?
Yeah,
and advisement to try and make it seem less scary to show your support. It's better when everyone is getting wristbands and everyone is getting the merchandise so that nobody feels singled out.
Be on the lookout for a full story being released by WCAT next week on Pride Month. I'm Elena Karras with WCAT News. Now back to you in the studio.
Thank you, Elena, and stay tuned for a full story on Pride Week. The yearbook still needs your help gathering content for this year's publication. If you have any socially distant pictures in masks, please make sure to contact Ms. Nye. Here's WCAT's Holley Jackson with an introduction to this year's yearbook.
Hey guys, I spoke with this year's yearbook editors, Lilly and Grayson, to get some updates and information about this year's links.
We just want to make sure that we document this year as best as we can, and we really can't do that without y'all's help, so thank you in advance. Also a reminder that the 2020 yearbooks are still available to pick up, along with the 2020 supplements in Ms. Nye's office.
Thanks so much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks, Holly. We can't wait to see the book you guys are creating in the spring.
And now, for a look at Wildcat sports, let's check in with Ryan and Mary Claire, sitting in for WCAT's James Carr.
Thanks, Olivia. I'm Mary Claire Anderson.
And I'm Ryan Carr.
Starting this Friday, you'll find us on the football sidelines during WCAT's pregame and halftime coverage. This week, we're excited to be sharing the sports report with you all.
That's right. In Wildcats, we have an action-packed week of sports ahead of us. The Volleycats kicked off this eventful week of sports with their home game last night against Mount Perrin Christian and are back in action tonight at 5:30 p.m. versus Roswell. Ashley Vincent is excited to battle the big 7A school.
So we had a really good team win against Laster last week, and the team's been looking really, really good in practice. We've been going really hard, and I'm super excited for our game coming up against Roswell because they're a really big 7A school, so it should be a really fun match.
Varsity girls softball was back playing at Marist Wednesday afternoon after previous cancellations. Cece Schrader gives us more on what's coming up this season.
It's been kind of disappointing having some games canceled, but the team's been keeping their hopes up, and we're excited for the next upcoming playoff games, and hopefully we will do well this year.
Our 9th grade and JV football teams will finally open their season this afternoon. 9th grade will play Blessed Trinity in the brand new Alfred E. Thompson Stadium. The game starts at 5 p.m. Since spectators are not allowed in the stadium, make sure to tune in to WCAT's live coverage. Sophomore Reid Pemberton tells us more about the season ahead.
Yeah, so the JV guys didn't hear a whole lot about our season until pretty recently, so we're very excited to be able to play. I think we have a 6-game season, and first game against BT should be good. We're excited to get out there and play.
Tomorrow, the varsity football team is heading to St. Pius. The Cats take on the Golden Lions after their 7-3 defensive battle over Pace last week. Junior Robert Clarke gives us a rundown on how they will counter the triple option.
Well, this week we got St. Pius who's running the triple option. And the biggest thing with the triple option is that everybody on defense does their job. So Coach Salimi's really emphasized not trying to do more than just your job. Do your responsibility, and if everybody does it, it'll work out. So that's kind of the big emphasis this week on defense. I think we've got a really good plan. We played 2 triple option teams last year. We got a lot of returning guys on defense, so there's a lot of guys who know how to run it, and I think that's probably the big change from this week to last week. Pace is obviously a big passing team. Pius, we're not going to see as much of that, but we got to be ready for a hard-fought, physical game.
Make sure to watch WCAT to see the Cats play and to see me and Mary Claire on the sidelines during pregame and halftime starting at 7 o'clock p.m.
Competing on Saturday are the boys and girls varsity cross-country teams who will be racing in the A6 Invitational. Sally James tells us how the new Westminster course has helped the teams prepare.
So this year we did get a new course. It's a lot harder than previous years, so just training on that alone has prepared us really well for this weekend's meet. But just super flat and fast and fun, as we like to say. So yeah, everybody's super excited. Some of our parents are taking us to the meet too, so that's something we've had to adjust to, but we're all really excited.
Before we wrap up today's report, we'd like to take this moment to extend our thoughts and prayers to Jordan Sloan and his family. We hope for a full recovery. Well, that's it for me and Mary Claire for the sports report this week. Go Cats!
Make sure to keep Jordan and his family in your prayers. And if you would like to donate, please visit the link below.
Remember, Wildcats, homecoming voting closes today at 2 p.m., so make sure to vote for your homecoming king and queen.
Now, here's a message from our co-chairs.
Hey guys, hope you had a really nice long weekend. Homecoming is next week, so be sure to be checking your email for updates on dress-up days and other fun activities that we'll be doing next week. And if you haven't already, please vote for homecoming king and queen.
Are you seriously watching WCAT Student News by yourself? If so, I have some great news for you. Next week is homecoming week, which means you get dress-up days with special themes. The theme on Monday is beach vacation, and then we'll go on the week and finally end with rave on Friday. And who knows, there might even be prizes for the best dressed. Anyway, be sure to monitor the student announcements, and we'll see you next week. Go Cats!
Thanks, Jenna and Connor.
Seniors, make sure to vote. If you have any questions, check in with Mr. Monahan and representatives of Young Democrats and Young Conservatives at their table outside of Presley.
Hey, I'm just here this week, and then I'll have a Young Conservative and a Young Democratic student later to help me out. And we're just helping seniors and faculty and staff and anyone with any last-minute questions before the voter registration deadline, which is this upcoming Monday. So, for example, a senior registered recently enough that they haven't gotten a postcard in the mail confirming their registration and where they're supposed to vote, and that information is going to be in the online system earlier. And so we just checked it, and she had a boost of confidence that it had been processed, and she's ready to go. So let's go vote.
I wish I was old enough to vote.
Me too, Larson, but I will definitely register to vote for the next election. That's all for this week. I'm Olivia Bontempo.
And I'm Larson Normark. Thanks for watching, and we will see you next week on WCAT Weekly News.